Oh, an alternate, okay.
I'd like to call the council meeting of the city of Festus to order. Roll call.
Councilman Boyer,
Here.
Councilman Collier is absent. Councilman Venz,
Here.
Councilman Cook,
Here.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Here.
Councilman Weiner,
Here.
Councilman Tenen, and Councilman Dennis is absent.
We do have a quorum. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Tonight's bills total $642,329.18.
So moved. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Venz,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yep.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Tenen, Councilman Boyer.
Motion passes. I do have a proclamation for the 56th Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week, May 4th to the 10th of 2025. Whereas the office of professional municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the office of professional municipal clerk is the oldest among professional public servants, and whereas the office of the professional municipal court provides the clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels, and whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. Whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the Office of Professional Municipal Clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishment of the office of the professional municipal clerk. Now, therefore, I, Samuel F. Richards, Mayor of the city of Festus, do recognize the week of May 4th through the 10th of 2025 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our professional municipal clerk, Leah Smith, and to all professional clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. Congratulations. Bids, we have bids from the fire department for a thermal imager camera.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. The proposal before you was approved through the budget process. We built in a cost increase because we were told there would be a cost increase. Unfortunately, we didn't build in a big enough cost increase. So I come before you today to ask for amendment to the budget for an additional $1,150 to purchase two thermal imaging cameras. Also with that, we would like to purchase the same brand and model that we got when we got the new 6614, because it'll help us with training and operational so that we're operating with the same equipment. So I would ask for your consideration to purchase them two items.
Any discussion?
Does this fulfill everything that you need in the form of safety for?
Yes,
with
sir.
these
That'll
cameras?
give us one on each of our first out equipment. Currently, the one that we have is beyond repair. The other one will probably carry on the support vehicle just so we have it until it finally.
You feel like this is
Yeah.
good the way we are with two of them?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Is there any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve a bid of $17,150 from Sentinel Emergency Solution for two Bullard thermal imaging cameras.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner, Councilman Tenen,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Venz,
Yes.
Councilman Cook.
Yep.
Motion carries. What else do you have, chief?
The second item is for 6 sets of turnout gear. Up front, I'm going to apologize because there's going to be quite confusion with this one. So when every year we budget for this equipment because it has a shelf life and we want to provide the best protection to the firefighters. And as usual, I thought we budgeted for it. When I got the final budget, when I was preparing this council report, I did not see it in my version of the council report. So that's why I asked to use some of our reserve funds along with a credit that we had with Sentinel Solutions. Since then, thanks to Michelle, she found in her notes that we did budget $50,000 for turnout gear this year. So contrary to what it says in the report on your desk, I asked that we purchase 6 sets of turnout gear from Sentinel Solutions using the money that we did earmark in a line item 59,600. So we don't have to use that credit at that time. And later on, I'll propose something at a future council meeting for that credit that we have with Sentinel.
Is there any discussion?
Is 6 sets enough? Are you anticipating any more part-timers, full-timers, anything we need to go ahead and get now?
No, sir. What we try to do is we try to buy between 5 and 10 sets a year so that it doesn't all come due at the same time. And right now, we are going to put on 2 volunteers, but they'll be under probationary status right now. So the current year we have will work, but next year we'll be back to ask for more year.
Is there any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to purchase 6 sets of gear from Sentinel Emergency Solutions for a total of $30,502.20.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Tenen,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Venz,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council.
Parks Department, 2021 Ford F-350 dump truck.
Good evening, everyone. We've had a truck that's been in pre-production and budgeted for almost 2 years now, and have pretty much given hope up on it. So we've been kind of going outsourced and looking for a truck, and actually Greg happened to get a text message a couple weeks ago about this truck. It is a 2021 Ford F-350, 1-ton dump, pretty much spec identical to what we were going to have built. It is used. It's less than 30,000 miles on it. I've been down twice to the dealership. It's Pettus, but it's down to Farmington. I've been down twice, drove it twice. It's exactly what we've been looking for. It's a gasser. We didn't really want a diesel, and everything we've been finding has been diesel. We kind of wanted to stay away from that just because we have no diesel equipment out there. So the confusion with gas to diesel, I just don't want that headache. So the only issue that we have is during the confusion of budget, it was not rolled over to this year, so we would need to do a budget amendment for it. We're requesting 60,000. The truck is down there for 49,594. So this is going to save us over half of what we had originally budgeted for a new truck.
Josh, I know the mileage doesn't always truly represent vehicles like this. What, the hour meter? That was it.
I did not check the hour meter.
Because it might have a lot of hours on it.
Yeah.
You never know. They sit a lot and run idle.
I mean, just by looking at it, I don't think the truck was used very much. So,
Okay.
I mean, the body is no scratches, interior's clean. The dump body itself has the normal wear and tear that we're going to put on a truck like this anyways. And as much as we use a 1-ton dump, this truck's going to last us for a long time.
So piggyback on Dave, because I agree. I don't know a lot about F-350s. I don't have a lot of good experience with used vehicles. Our mechanics are good with it. I mean, like they've looked at it. You're comfortable with it.
I'm comfortable with it.
I don't want to give the pretense we're being cheap to the Parks Department because,
No, I think this is more than adequate for what we're going to use it for.
okay.
I wouldn't have brought it to you guys if I didn't think so. It's the right color. It's actually, it's a red, it's red cab with its black bed, but that's fine. So I know. You got the whole herky colors.
No.
Yeah.
Parky colors are black and red. Crystal's colors are red and black. Just thought I'd clear that up.
Crystal cheated when they had their color.
If not, is there any other discussion? I will entertain a motion to approve buying a 2021 Ford F-350 dump truck from Pettus Ford for $49,594.
So moved.
60,000.
Yeah, 60,000 total, but the truck's 49 and some change. So that'll allow us to safety lights, bed lining, anything that we would need for it.
Okay, we'll go 60,000 instead of 49.
So moved.
Okay,
Gotta be correct.
still, motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Venz,
Yes.
Councilman Cook.
Yep.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Tennant.
Yes. Motion is approved. Buy your truck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tonight, we have a resolution number 4816.5. Resolution of official intent of the city of Festus, Missouri towards the issuance of an industrial revenue bond to finance an industrial development project, approving a memorandum of understanding and authorizing certain actions relating thereto. We have resolution 4816.5 on the agenda. I just read it, didn't I? Okay. Resolution number 4816.5 is now open for discussion. Could I have a staff report?
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. As we discussed during our work session, this is the updated Chapter 100 incentive package for the Hampton Inn. They are prepared to get started essentially tomorrow. As discussed several months ago, this MOU does contemplate a refunding of the $20,000 that they already have on deposit with us in the event that they do not pull their building permits. It also has a penalty of up to 2 years of loss of the property tax abatement, the real estate tax abatement, I should say, if they do not receive their certificate of occupancy within the amount of time that is contemplated here in the memorandum.
Oh, Greg, I just want to make sure because I have some slow moments. So the business personal property is not exempt and I just want to make sure
This is just real estate.
it's real estate. 'Cause
Correct.
so the city and the school still getting money.
Mhm.
So, because everybody just got reassessed and I'm sure that was a pleasant surprise. And the school, you met with them, they're good.
Yes.
They're on board with this.
Yeah, we've met with the school and obviously the ambulance district is affected by this as well. They have the option of opting out. They opted to opt out at 50%, which is their prerogative. So they are participating in this process as well.
And you are comfortable that our ladder truck will reach that building because that thing is older and you're 100% comfortable.
I am comfortable our ladder truck will reach the top of the building, but you are correct, our ladder truck.
You know, Chief and I had a conversation along this line here recently where really what he needs to say is, oh, no.
Well, that's why I'm putting him on the spot because that ladder truck is getting older and I know we have other buildings of the same height, but we're adding another one and we're voting for a chapter 100 that affects you
Well,
and your department.
To answer your question, yes, we can reach the top of the building. To expand on that, that is the truck that we're getting ready to replace because it's starting to nickel and dime us to death because it is an older truck.
Okay, because the chapter 100 for a growing department can be a troublesome load to carry.
Again, to answer your question, we can reach the top of the building, but it is an older truck.
Is there any other discussion? If not, do I have a motion to approve resolution number 4816.5?
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Tenen,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Vins.
Yes.
Resolution 4816.5 has passed. Good. We need a hotel, another hotel. And a ladder truck. Well, tonight we have bill number 4817 on the agenda. Would the clerk please read the bill for the first time?
Mr. Mayor.
Short-lived.
Sir, Leah, before you jump in,
Yes.
Brian, go ahead. I'm
Uh,
sorry.
I spoke with Mark about this earlier and it occurred to me that there has not been a public hearing published, notice of a public hearing hasn't been published 15 days in advance of this one. So I'm going to recommend that before we do any readings on it, you guys table this to the May 27th meeting so we can publish notice.
So moved.
Thank you, sir.
Motion's been made and seconded to table this bill 4817 until May 27th. Is that right? Was May 28th?
Is it 20?
It's a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's the 27th. We moved from the 26th because of Memorial Day.
Memorial Day. Yes.
Okay, 27th.
Woohoo.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. This bill is tabled. We also have Bill 4818 on the agenda. Would the clerk please read this bill for the first time?
Bill number 4818, an ordinance of the city of Festus, Missouri, annexing to the city certain real property described herein, determining that said annexation is reasonable and necessary to the proper development of said city, and that the city has the ability to furnish normal municipal services to the area to be annexed, and specifying the new boundary lines to which the city limits are extended by reason of said annexation.
Bill 4818 is now open for discussion. Could I have a staff report?
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. As we had discussed during our work session, this pretty much wraps up all the properties out on CC Highway. In order for them to receive water from the city of Festus, they're currently receiving it from Water District 5. This essentially allows us to provide water service to them in the light of all the work that's being done on 67. So once we get this buttoned up, it looks like the mid part of May is when KCI is going to begin doing some of the pretty heavy lifting out there on 67.
Is there any questions or discussion? Hearing none. Is there any council meeting member that would like this bill carried over to the next meeting? Hearing none. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4818 for the second time in title only? Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read Bill 4818 for the second time?
Bill number 4818, an ordinance of the city of Festus, Missouri, annexing to the city certain real property described herein, determining that said annexation is reasonable and necessary to the proper development of said city, and that the city has the ability to furnish normal municipal services to the area to be annexed, and specifying the new boundary lines to which the city limits are extended by reason of said annexation. Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Vins,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Tenen.
Yes.
Bill 4818 has passed. Under new business, temporary liquor license for Good Time Slushy. That's for Firework Festival, June 28th or 27th to 28th. Chief, you have any concerns about this? Is there any discussion? All those in favor of granting a temporary license for the sale of alcoholic beverages to Good Time Slushy LLC? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. We also have a temporary liquor license for the sale of alcohol beverages to Living Life on Two Wheels. And this is for the Festus Art Walk on May the 4th, 2025. Any discussion? Chief? you
Oh,
have
I'm
any-
so sorry, Mayor. Greg, I know that one of the deacons of the church we called about, was that worked out on that?
For the art walk?
Yeah.
Michelle Holmeyer had, in fact, I got a chance to visit with Michelle just last week, and she reassured me that not once but twice spoke to the pastor at the church there on Main Street.
Thank you, sir. Sorry, Mayor, for interrupting.
That's all right. Is there any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the temporary license for the sale of alcoholic beverages
So,
to Living Life on Two Wheels.
so moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Do we have any old business?
No, sir.
No old business. Councilman Boyer.
Drove through there, I heard, so, that should have been a lot of businesses in town. Happy with, big turnout. Notice the amount of tickets has went up quite a bit, thanks to new officers that's dedicated to doing that.
Yeah, their first week, I think they worked 5 traffic accidents, made 50-some traffic stops and wrote 30-some tickets between the two of them, so.
Good deal. Josh, I noticed out at the park, there was about 2 or 3 downed trees because of the storm damage. I guess, has anything been done with those yet? Yeah, they were all the way down back onto the right as you come into the park, go back.
Yeah, we've been pretty much all over with down trees. I'll take a look at it and make sure that we didn't continue to be down back there, so that might be pretty fresh.
Okay, yeah, they look like they was fresh, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Sir, that's all I have.
All righty, Councilman Weiner.
Pardon me, just a few things here. Josh, I guess it was last time maybe, when we were here, I mentioned over at the basketball courts over there about graffiti and stuff. And I don't know if it's new or if it's been, if it's the same stuff that's been over there, but there's some there's some pretty good language over there that probably needs to be cleaned up. And if you could get on that, I'd appreciate that. Well,
You'll strip the paint off, the sport paint on, so that's be painted over. So I've secure some more sport paint from McConnell. So
okay.
it's about the 5th time, I think, now, within the last year that we painted that basketball court, so.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate it if you could at least get the big stuff off of there that's not for kids' eyes. Right, okay. And Michael, there's a gentleman, I think we discussed this a little bit over on Central, that is having some issues with some storm drains. If you could look into those, I'd appreciate that also.
I'll be out there.
Thank you, sir. On the waste connections discussion that we had, Greg, if they do alter their dates and pickups for bulk, if we could, at a minimum, have them send a letter out, a mailing out to everyone so that we will know when those are, so that we can take that mailing and just put it above our garbage cans and it'll be there without people having to go to social media or call City Hall, whatever.
We talked about also the possibility of a tag that could be hung on the cans in advance that would note. So obviously, when you come out to retrieve your can, there would be a note there from Waste Connections that would say, just to let you know that coming up on this date, there will be changes in your service.
If we could do something on paper to let everyone know, I think that'd be fantastic. Let's see here. Barb, great job on in the newspaper, in the leader, with having all of the upcoming events in there. I think I've been wanting to have that for 10 years now, and I think you've done it, and thank you for doing that. I think it's important for people to know what's happening, what's going to go on, and I think you did a good job with that. And let's see here. Greg, on the urban planners that we were talking about too, we talked about them a little bit with annexation. Are we going to have someone come in that, it's that old thing, we don't know what we don't know? Are we going to have an urban planner come in and give us some ideas on the city going forward as far as what their experience says that where we should head?
So we have our kickoff meeting with them the second week of May. And we're going to just start the conversation with the I-5 group, which is the firm that we selected. We do have some data that we need to deliver to them, which is basically all of the GIS data from the county since we participate in the pictometry, we receive that data for free. we'll turn that over to I-5 and we'll begin discussing where exactly should the city grow and where should it grow? We'll have Public Works, Police, and Fire as part of those discussions because those services are the ones that are obviously going to be put to task the most. And I really think that's kind of where we're coming at it from is what can we do where and when can we do it by? So that'll be the start of our conversation here in the next week or two.
Perfect. Okay. And then lastly, Chief, on the firing range that we addressed last time, if or when you have those ballistics or the sound measurements done, I think it would be nice if the citizens could be aware of that. And I'm not talking about for a safety issue or anything like that. But when you have decibels, if that's the sole thing that is going to be based on, I think that's a little nuanced because it's not really tangible. It's not like actually hearing what happens. So if there would be a way for the citizens to know about it, I think it would probably have a better effect on them than not.
Yeah, I'm not sure other than decibels of how you measure sound. But once I get that study, I'll be putting an entire package together for you guys to review. And then we'll determine where we're going to go from there as far as how to get that information to the public and everything else. But the sound study is being done currently. I don't, like I said, I'm not sure how to judge it other than by decibels because that's what generates sound. I can make some comparisons to other things that are similar by studies that have been done as far as how loud those decibels are. But do you have something other that I'm unaware of?
Well, so no, I mean, sound is measured by decibels. Either it's loud or soft, it's in between. But there are some things that are objective, that are black and white, and there are some things that are subjective, which you don't know unless you can feel them and touch them and talk about them. And that's the way I believe personally that sound would be and its effect upon neighboring neighborhoods or parks or whatever it may be. And I just think that it's important if the citizens are putting their trust in us to make this decision, I think that they should be able to have the input to us to say, yes, that's acceptable or no, it's not. That's all. And that's all I have, sir.
All right, thank you, Councilman Cook.
I only got one thing. I kind of feel like a loser, Brian. You covered everybody. But to expand on the gun range, I would like for council to entertain having an open house and letting the citizens come when we have everything, including inviting or sending the decimal range study to some type of psychologist, psychiatrist, because we're going to have a all-inclusive park there. And I would like to cover the children that are potentially or do have disabilities. So that can be reviewed, but I really would like to see us do an open house. I really would, where we put up the slides, we have people come in and walk, because I know we had 3 or 4 people who spoke against it. Unfortunately, fortunately, or indifferent, I'm telling you, social media is the way people communicate. It just is. And they don't always come to City Hall. They don't always call us. And it's just a 21st century. And I just think we need to adapt a little better than what we're doing. And I think if we're going to continue down this road, I really believe we need to do an open house and then have everybody there and approach it like the 55 project, where people would come in, you can ask questions to the appropriate people, and then the public can leave. And then maybe do it once or twice. If it falls flat on its face, at least we did our best. We would advertise it, put it on social media, have potential experts in the field of disability, special education, all take a look at it. And I think we've covered our bases. That's what I would request from this council. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Councilwoman Templeton.
Do you have some comments on them? I do have some comments on the range, but I'm going to table those until we bring it back on the agenda, which will be at some point. I do agree with having, make sure that the public is aware of the research and the extra steps that Chief Wendell is taking to make sure that we're answering all of the questions that we can. I also think it's important to notice this is not a daily activity. This is not something that they're going to be qualifying every single day of the year. So there's, that perception is there, as well as also looking at the decibels that other activities that we routinely have in the city every single day or every single summer, every single fall. And also from my own personal standpoint, so I'm going to talk about what I said. My own personal standpoint, we need to be able to give our officers the best chance at having some sort of live fire, because the FATS machine is great, indoor ranges are great, but in reality, dealing with the elements is only something that happens in the elements. So I get it, nobody wants it in their backyard, but I think that we're doing what we need to do, which is due diligence to say, okay, what are all these variables? And I would like to see that we have an open forum where people could come in. I also would say, in general, if somebody wants to come into a meeting, please come into a meeting, but stay to hear what else is going to be said about that topic. If it's something that's on the agenda and you have the ability to stay, please stay, or pull it up later and watch it on, the recorded version, just so that because Chief answered a lot of questions that were brought up when it came to the spot on the agenda. But unfortunately, I don't think those people were still here at that point, because I would have liked them to have heard that firsthand. But we do have the meetings recorded, so if you can't make it in, please call one of us. Please, just let us know kind of how you're thinking, because otherwise we don't know until, unfortunately, it spreads all over social media. So I do think social media is a great tool, but it's also a weapon. So I think we have to be mindful of that. So thanks for the extra work. Greatly appreciated, because I want to make sure that we're making the best decision for the community as a whole. And I think it's a very multifaceted question that we have to answer. So that's it.
All righty, thank you. Councilman Vins.
I agree with what you're saying and Mike's saying too. And I guess the biggest scare of that to a certain degree is they know it's going to happen a little bit with Festus, but I guess like anything else is when you invite the neighbors. The other cities, this city.
I won't invite the neighbors if you don't let me invite the neighbors, sir. So that would be.
Well, I know that, but that's, I guess what they're, because they said, you
So,
get.
but that is where you would
Right.
have control over that, is if you want nobody else to use that, nobody else would use that but us, but I
Right.
guarantee that.
And that's where, just like they were both saying, they need to come here so they can hear the whole story, not say something and leave, because that can make a major difference. If we say it's strictly Festus, but they say sometimes you get, how you can change as soon as somebody walks, okay, now we're gonna start having all these people and this and that. That's what they get worried about, because once it's allowed, then there's loopholes in it, and this person, then you end up having half dozen other people. That's, I guess, so there's good and bad to all of it, and we know it, and social media is a big, up and down with this stuff. The other thing, Chief Window, is where is the law on these temporary tags? Because at one time, people were saying, once you buy a vehicle, the license were supposed to be paid, and these temporary tags was gonna be done. Did that not go through anymore?
The last I have heard on it is the Department of Revenue is still trying to get a taxing system set up to where they can charge those taxes at all the individual dealerships. So right now, they're still issuing the temporary tags until they get into place. I believe the law was passed to where that will occur, but they have to get everything in place. So whenever you go to, say, Twin City Toyota and buy a car, they can plug in your address, and then it will know, the dealership will know how much tax to charge on that vehicle off of that chart. And then Missouri Department of Revenue hasn't got that tax table built yet.
Oh, boy, that is probably like everybody else here's, you see not only a few months, but we're talking year or 2 years tags out there that's just driving everybody crazy. But I just thought I'd find out just so I can relay the message. And
Right, have you heard any more on that, or?
I think your summary was pretty accurate.
okay. Other than that, that's all I have, sir.
All right, thank you.
Chief Wendell, this might be a lot to ask, but so we got to hear a single shot from a pistol. I don't know if it's possible to go over there and shoot into the bank or not, but I'd like to hear multi shots from a rifle. Is that possible to record so we could have, whether we're going to have an open house or whatever we're going to have? I just don't think one shot from a pistol is what I want to hear.
We could, first thing I want to do is get the sound study done. And once we get that, then we can try to work something out to where we can find someplace safe down there without the berm in place to where we can try to do maybe a few officers with a rifle in those same locations. I'll see what I can put together to get that done. We'll try to do that same experiment like what we did after we get the sound study done with something similar to that. Actually, I think the loudest gun and all the research I've been doing, the loudest actual weapon that we will be firing is a 12 gauge shotgun. So when I'm doing all the studies and everything I've been looking into to answer all these questions, it's kind of a 9mm, and the AR platform, our patrol rifles are both somewhere in the 150s, low 150s, and then it's a couple decibels higher for a 12 gauge shotgun. So that might be the better, we could take some buckshot, which is going to be not travel near as far as everything else, and have a couple officers fire some shotguns and do that study for you if that's what you want.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I just want to hear the worst scenario, you know what I mean? I have had a lot of phone calls over this, and we're gonna have to have, if it's gonna pass, we're gonna have to have some evidence that it's not gonna be so crazy loud. So that's all I got, sir.
All righty, thank you. Well, I have an application from Tim Bennett to be appointed to the Planning and Zoning Commission. I understand we have a alternate position open, and I would like to appoint him to an alternate position. So I'll entertain a motion to approve that appointment.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you. And since we talked about the gun range and a lot was said, the one point that I will definitely agree with when Councilwoman Templeton said that doing all these other ways to qualify indoor ranges, the technical simulators and all that stuff. There is nothing that compares to going outside, shooting on a range. If it rains, you don't cancel the range. I mean, I spent 23 years in a organization that you never cancel the range. You never stop live fire exercises whenever it happened, because of you never knew when you were going to be in combat with that sort of situation. And it's the same thing with our police officers. You never know when you're going to make that traffic stop in the rain and it goes downhill very quickly. We need to train our officers so that they can feel safe, citizens can feel safe, and we can keep our city safe. So having said that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.